Your question is very important, and Amos, the president of the Focolare and the entire movement, has already answered it in the recent months. She has invited all the members for a communion of goods and even a greater sharing. We were called to review our way of living and spending, and therefore to share with others who are in need. The message of unity must be conveyed more and more by a concrete commitment to those who suffer. As Scripture teaches us, to a brother who asks you for food, you cannot say, "Go in peace." You must first feed him. Our zone has lived to bring a new style of economy and sharing. They have begun more than 10 years ago. We can say that they have been helped thousands of people in various countries. We are committed to a culture of giving with micro-projects that make us glimpse the dawn of a new world, where concrete brotherhood is daily life. I will bring just a few practical examples of the dozens of works we have and experience we also follow. In Chiang Mai, the initiative of the teens called Zero Hunger have been and still are a sign of a movement that no longer wants to see people suffering from hunger. It is important that the children from an early age learn to open their eyes to those who suffer. The commitment of the Focolare here towards the poor in this period of pandemic has been constant, initiating a communion of goods and distribution of aid. Help has arrived from Singapore to help our poor. A whole community that has been raising a common action for the poor and needy. The works that are done in our area is perhaps small but significant. They are our response daily to so many people. In Vietnam, in this last period, an intensified distribution of help to 600 children who would have been on the road without this help from distance adoption projects and others is being done. The New Family Movement in Rome organizes and gives an important help. A local folk up school supports and helps its 140 children and poor families of these two children. This school was founded 22 years ago by one of our priests now in heaven. His love continues to reach hundreds of children and their families each year. In Medan, Indonesia, many projects aim at students and their families. The projects aim at helping the most disadvantaged for school study, nutritional project, and many other compassionate acts that only true love and service can invent to help these children and their loved ones. Later, 3 of them will share their experiences. Between Thailand and Myanmar border with the Karen refugee in Mae Sot, for 10 years now, a project to help migrants and refugees living and working in the corn plantations near the border has been started. Their conditions are really very precarious. Children from the city of Latina in Italy, from Poschiavo, Switzerland, and many other cities send them help. At the moment, the aid reaches about 200 people. Before the pandemic, according to the United Nations, there were 81 million people fleeing their home from their countries in search of a new home. We can imagine at the end of this year what we will face in the world. The important thing is wherever we are, we become sensitive to the needs of others. The Holy Father Pope Francis has called all of God's people to this sensitivity. The reason why the whole movement is involved in these concrete actions in favor of the most needy is based on Chiara's words. It is the basis of every member's commitment, who concretely invented many initiatives to help students, family, abandoned women, the poor and the disabled. Chiara's prayer, who we are celebrating together today, reads, Lord, give me all the lonely. I have felt in my heart the passion that invades your heart for all the abandonment in which the whole world is immersed. Allow me to be in the world, the tangible sacrament of your love, to be your arm that embrace you and consume all the solitude of the world. Our love for Jesus forsaken in the difficulties of all humanity is a concrete love made of listening, of tenderness, and also made of bread, rice, noodles, and eggs, because Jesus in that poor man needs it. May we be able to respond and commit ourselves by saying, I build the world united by helping others. Following this, we will hear the concrete experiences from Singapore, Myanmar, and Medan as a sign of celebration and Chiara's continued inspiration to each one of us. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Anthony Tan from Singapore, and I belong to a branch of the Focolare movement called the Volunteers of God. The Volunteers of God comprises of men and women from all social categories and professions who freely and radically follow God. They are committed to live out the gospel spirituality of unity in their daily lives. I have been meeting regularly with 7 other men volunteers in order to journey together towards God in the spirituality of the Focolare movement. After journeying together for over 10 years, we really felt that we are brothers. When COVID-19 struck, we had to stop our meetings, and it was a difficulty for all of us. After some time, we realized that we have to open up ourselves and reach out to one another despite the physical distancing. We started to meet via Zoom, and it helped us to renew our brotherhood and commitment. We realized that we need to reach out to all our Focolare friends in the region, being aware of the financial difficulties that this pandemic has caused. We also asked these Focolare friends if they know of people who needed help. After getting in contact with our Focolarino friend Luigi, who have been staying in Vietnam for some years, we realized that there were many people in Vietnam, in the outskirts of Ho Chi Minh City, that needed help. They were already poor before the pandemic. Many are left jobless and hungry when the pandemic struck. We felt that we needed to do something for them, even if we are small and limited. Discussing together with Luigi, we decided to seek help from the Archdiocese of Singapore humanitarian aid organization named CHARIS. We put together a request to them for financial aid for these hungry, poor people in Vietnam. After some evaluation and discussion, we managed to obtain slightly over 10,000 US dollars from CHARIS, which will go towards sending out food packs for 150 families in the Binh Thanh district of Ho Chi Minh City. These food packs can sustain these 150 families for 2 months. We felt that we did very little in this project. In fact, it is all God's providence, and we are just called to say yes. Yes to reaching out to our brothers and sisters, to coordinating the project. We felt that we are in a similar situation as Chiara Lubich and her first companions during World War II. They also had the difficulties of the war all around them. Despite all this, they reached out to the people, loving and helping the poor around them. They said yes, and we too felt that we should do the same. For us, what we have done, it may be insignificant, but it is a contribution to answer the prayer of Chiara Lubich. Lord, allow me to be in the world the tangible sacrament of your love, to be your arms that embrace you and consume all the solitude of the world. Thank you.
Social revolution? Where does this idea come from? In 1962, Chiara Lubich said, The Gospel says that whoever wants to follow Jesus must leave everything they have and give it to the poor. It's the first step to take in order to follow Jesus. Give to the poor. Isn't this could be the noblest definition of social revolution? As Chiara once wrote, you can only respond to love with love, love for God, as a response to His love for us. And you do this by immediately doing something out of love for your neighbor. Whoever we met in our life was given our full attention, our care, our kindness. As a response to this call to love, we would like to bring you two stories, Sister Bibiana Bia and Christopher Solwin. Sister Bibiana Bia, the eldest daughter of 12 children, was in her novitiate when her father died, leaving her mother alone to bring ahead the family without any support from anybody.
My collaboration with the Focolare and this project with some poor and orphan children is about 17 years ago. So I'm quite happy with this project to work with Focolare. I'm the eldest daughter of the 12 children of my parents. So my parents are poor and simple farmers. So they live in a small village in the remote area, which is about 30 families in that village. So we are 12. We were 12 all born in that village. No? So my father died, leaving my father to bring ahead of the big family without any support from anybody. No? When my father passed away, my younger sister is only 2 years old. So I'm the eldest. I was about 27 years old. By that time, I was a candidate of the settlement to become a sister. I want to return to my family to help them. Because of that difficult situation, I was attached very much to my family, but I tried to detach with the sad and pain. I cried many times. But your project introduced the Diocese of Taungji by that time. So Bishop called me out. I met with Chiara. We started our project with the poor and orphan children. Two of my younger sisters were put into the support of this project. And this time going on, I found a way to solve my problem, my family difficulties slowly. My personality, through collaboration with this Focolare of this project, I found more meaningful of my holy vocation. I was able to close with the poor and orphan children, poor family. Through being close with the poor and orphan children, I can live more universal brotherhood in my life of this holy vocation. I'm happy with that.
Sister Bibiana has been the Superior General for 3 terms, and she is taking care of a big percentage of minors in this project. In this moment, she is in the Center for HIV-infected children. Christopher Solwin is currently teaching organizational development in Sherry May Academy, a community development institute for youth.
I haven't known much about the Focolare since I was young, but I realized that it means a lot to me because I have escaped from the financial hardship and educational obstacle by the support of the Focolares to vulnerable children. They continue providing me until I got a degree, and also they provide not only school fees and general materials, but also they motivate us to be able to be strong enough to face the world, to face the society. And we meet every year by celebrating Easter, Christmas, and New Year party with vulnerable children and also orphan friends. But later, I understand more about the life of the Focolare by joining Jan and Maria Poli's activity. Finally, Focolare means love, community, and unity. Chiara Lubich is a person who can inspire me to love my family, my friends, and also my students and neighbors, because she used to say about the love of God and the life of Jesus Christ. She has convinced my life to smile every day, and also she also convinced my life to share my things, my property to others, and also it really brings me peace.
Aside from being a teacher, he does a lot of volunteer work in giving courses in youth development in his region. This project, Support-at-a-distance, is being carried out in collaboration with some local religious communities, priests and friends in Myanmar since 1995. This venture would be defined in this way. For the children, becoming a sponsored child means breaking free from the traps of poverty and becoming a person essential to the development of his country. For the sponsor, it is an act of openness that connects people and worlds that are completely different. All these years, we can count over 1,000 once young boys and girls who have received education up to their graduation and have landed to promising jobs. We have nurses, dentists, teachers, engineers, tourist guides, and even religious nuns. Probably not everybody received diplomas for higher education, and they opted to return to their simple life in the villages, but with a good basic education or started in a profession other than that of a simple agricultural laborer. This initiative is not to reverse totally the social situation, but a transformation from misery into a dignified poverty. A love that goes, returns, and expands. A universal brotherhood in action.
I'm Ronnie Fernando, and I'm 67 age, and I'm retired from the government service, and I got 3 children. I'm retired now. When I entered the Focolare movement, they asked me to find this place for helping the children, innocent children. So I have to find the place where the children are, and have to find the local to find this place. And the Focolare give me the chance to help them in anyhow. So they asked me, so in Medan I have to go to the village authority to find the children. And here the village authority sent me to find the children. And they gave me the list, and I give it to the Focolare, and the Focolare accept this, and they give the budget, and we can distribute the acres and all. And sometimes the Focolare ask me to distribute school books, exercise books, and all like that only.
D'Souza. I'm from India, and then for the last 4.5 years I have been living in Yangon, in the Focolare in Yangon. When I came to Myanmar, it was just coming out of isolation, so we were also limited in being foreigners we were limited in doing social work. It was not seen very well or not understood, and it is difficult to express our love of neighbor in society, in an open way. But God always sends people to help us, and one whom we found was Ronnie. So he knew the bureaucracy quite well and how to go about it and how to do things. So he knew the movement before the men's Focolare even started. He established contact with some areas which were really poor, identified as poor, and he got in touch with the authorities there and ensured that we could do what we were doing, and that is how we were able to start this 2 eggs per week project for poor children in Yangon. We put 2 eggs at that time it was a plastic bag, so that even if the eggs broke, the plastic contained the broken egg, and the mother of the household of the children could do whatever with those eggs. They could boil it, they could make poached eggs and cook it in water, and still use it even if the eggs broke. And initially we tried to test it out in peripheries of Yangon, and it was a success, and now we are operating in 3 locations outside Yangon. Around 215 children are supplied with this 2 eggs. They normally eat only rice. Okay, if they eat something at all. Many of them are from very marginalized areas. They are migrant areas. Mostly the parents have no job or little work income. So with this egg is also providing a bit of nutrition, protein, to ensure that they don't be malnourished. It's not easy. It's not easy, but okay, it's something to start with, and it has been well received. Saved by the children themselves, by the families of the children, by the donors as well, who are children across the world, who donate who save up money, the €1 or $1, and give it for our project.
Assalamualaikum, peace be upon you and Allah's mercy and blessings. My name is Suyani. I am a Muslim. I am very happy that through the social center Sambar Harapan, I came to know the Focolare and its spirituality of unity. I have learned more to accept others as they are. In everyday life, there are often conflicts or differences of opinion, especially with neighbors. But here I was taught to always see other people with new eyes. I learned a lot about how to appreciate others and that our difference is not a barrier for me to establish good relationships with anyone. So wherever I am, I do not feel awkward to make friends with anyone, even though they have different ethnic and religious backgrounds. I always try to practice it in my daily life and also teach my children to be able to accept differences.
Yes, for me, I learned to see everyone as a brother. For example, where I work, there are Christians, but I did not feel awkward with them. I consider them as my own family. Together with several other Muslim friends, we are trying to practice what we have learned from Focolare. Last year, we were invited to share our experiences held by Franciscan families throughout Indonesia to commemorate the 800th year historic event of the meeting between Saint Francis and Sultan Malik al-Kamil. Focolare has a lot to instill in us the spirit of brotherhood in diversity. Thank you.
My name is Farhan. I am a Muslim. I have a friend and he is a Christian. Since childhood, we have been friends until now. We have never questioned religion because I myself am convinced that all religions teach goodness.
My name is Yamo Gunawarubu. I'm a Christian. Farhan and I have been friends since we were small. We got to know each other through the social center Focolare. We always play together and sometimes also study together. We feel truly like brothers. Through Focolare, we also learned and are encouraged to live as brothers and sisters despite our ethnic and religious differences.
For me, personally, this is a very valuable lesson, and wherever I am, I try to get along with anyone, especially those who are different from me.
I'm Cristinus Munte. I originally come from Medan, but because of work, I moved to Carimon Island since October 2018. Chiara's message inspired me to start a new adventure in Carimon. Chiara gave me a new perspective in loving. I live in an official residence together with our head of administration and 3 other colleagues. We come from different places, religion, and ethnic groups. At work and also in the house, the majority is Muslim. In fact, I'm the only Catholic. I want us to be a family and not just people who live in the same house. This is not always easy also because the political situation in Indonesia, which is often mixed up with religion, still raises suspicion towards non-Muslims. But I always try to do my part in loving and offering sincere friendship. So after work, I always try to spend time with them, waiting for them to finish praying so we can have dinner together. Every time we are together, I take advantage to get to know them better. During the month of Ramadan, when they were fasting, I thought of making a surprise for them. Usually, during Ramadan, everyone comes home from work and directly go to rest. When they were resting, I started to cook to prepare a meal for all of us. When they got up, they were very surprised and pleased with what I was doing. And then we broke the fasting together. A beautiful experience also when they were invited by another Muslim friend to break the fast together. They also invited me. For me, this is already a sign of a good relationship already built among us. I do not give importance to the differences among us, but try to see the similarities that we have. To be able to love one another in building a harmonious world. Thank you.